Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review of The Last of Us Season 1, Episode 4. We have made it on the other side of Bill and Frank's story. Like, the tears have started to dry. And with that in mind, we're off to Kansas City. Who wants more chaos?
Also puns. Okay, you guys ready?
All right.
Ready for my joke?
All right.
Okay, I've been practicing this all night, so we'll
Okay.
see how it lands. Okay.
All right.
What is a pirate's favorite letter?
What is it?
You think it'd be the R, but it'd be the C. Okay, leave your best puns in the comments, guys. Give us your best pun jokes. I love pun jokes.
Yeah.
So does Matt. So when
Correct.
this was going on, that joke that Ellie told at the end about running in the jeans, I just about died.
It's a very important thing to remember that while there are, horrible things happening and there's a fungus among us and all this other terribleness going on in The Last of Us, like, they're still people. And sometimes when you're still people, you need to tell a dumb joke about bodily functions. It happens.
And sometimes it really helps to just break through to somebody to get them to have a laugh or have a smile. This is really the first episode where we saw Joel and Ellie making some deeper connections, where she admitted that's not the first time that she's used a gun, but also breaking through with this bit of laughter.
All right. Well, before we move forward here and venture into everything in episode 4, hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss any other coverage. We are almost to the halfway
Oh
point
my goodness.
of this season. Yeah, I know. It's absolutely crazy, but we'll be here to talk about the rest of it. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button now.
Also, we just want to let you guys know about a scheduling change that's coming up. So
Yeah.
this weekend is the Super Bowl. The Last of Us is not going to be airing on Sunday. Instead, they're going to be airing this episode 5, on Friday, and we will be here after that episode.
Yeah, good on you guys, HBO Max, for making sure that this is there at a time in which people are actually going to care and they're not like throwing things at their TV because they're upset about my guy Mahomes, who better do really well in the game. Okay.
Listen, I don't care about football at all, so I would have been watching The Last of Us.
Yeah, no, I would have been too. But no, this is the biggest problem with this episode is that it came after episode 3. Like, it's a good starting off point. It's like, this is probably my least favorite episode of the season. And that's not even to say it was bad, because I don't think it's remotely bad at all. It's just like the pilot was excellent. I thought episode 2 was very good. Episode 3 was like one of the best episodes I've ever seen. So it's like, how do you top that?
Yeah, I think it's tough because we did need to have this where you sort of had the two of them getting to know each other, where at some point Joel will stop calling Ellie cargo and will just actually start caring more about her. And we saw that coming together in little ways with the jokes, where she ended up saving his life. I mean, this is coming together. Even that moment where she admitted that that was not the first time that she shot somebody, and he was like, okay, then you know what? I'm going to teach you how to use this in a way that's a little bit safer than what you've been doing.
Yeah, this episode, it's a bridge episode, right? Like, we're trying to get from point A to point B, and I think point B is sort of designed to be Joel and Ellie. They're not going to be like, best friends, like, telling fart jokes every second, but they're going to be in a better place. They're going to be in a less, this is a job sort of place. And in order to get there, it can't happen overnight. So it's like, this episode is mostly about bonding, mostly about them figuring out how to survive together, how to deal with, almost dying and saving each other's lives, and kind of about establishing this new world that they've encountered as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're not in a great place. So
No.
we saw them traveling along. They get to a point that they're like, okay, we have to go around this. They end up in this spot where someone's like, help me. And Joel's like, nah, I've been on the other side of this, where I've been that guy. This isn't happening. But instead, they still end up getting trapped. All their wheels are flat. Yeah. I was kind of, at first I was like, okay, are they just gonna like take out who's around here and then grab some of their wheels. I mean, there's a million cars all over the place, but things just got too hectic. There's a lot of people in this city,
Yeah.
and it's run by the Yellow Jackets. For those of you who are also watching that show, it is coming up in March, and we cover that here at the channel as well.
I love Melanie Linsky. I
I
love
love her.
I love the really bizarre career arc that she's had. Like she's gone from like, hanging outside of Charlie Harper's house on Two and a Half Men, and all of a sudden she's like an Emmy candidate, probably year after year for
Yep.
Yellow Jacket. She's like playing Kathleen, this like ruthless leader here in Kansas City. Wait, I just realized something. They're in Kansas City. You know what they need to be doing? Protect Mahomes at all
Oh,
costs against the
right.
game
Oh,
on
my
Sunday.
goodness.
No, I'm
Who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl? If you are watching, leave it in the comments.
I'm team Melanie Linsky sticking around for a little while, but at the
Yeah.
same time she can't stick around too long because she's still got to go back and do Yellow Jackets, and also I don't want her to kill Joel or Ellie, so it's this weird, very delicate relationship with this character.
Yeah, and I mean, it's seemingly like her whole goal is to find Henry and Sam. There is whatever her problem is with these two, she wants to get her hands on these two. And so we don't really know a lot of why everybody's after them and what exactly it is that they've done or who this group of people are. However, we did get to see Henry and Sam at the end of this episode where we had Joel and Ellie finding a way to kind of get around in this city. They found a building where they were like, okay, we're going to be able to get a little bit of sleep. One more fart joke before we go to bed. And they woke up to Sam and Henry on them.
This is going to be pretty fun because, I am a gamer, but I'm not a Last of Us gamer. I haven't played the game, so it's just like, I don't know a lot about Henry and Sam. That excites me. Also, I know that they're not going to just kill Joel and Ellie in the next episode because then we don't have a show anymore. So I'm obviously going into episode 5 kind of with the assumption that either Henry and Sam are going to be allies or they're going to be ally adjacent, or if nothing else, they're not going to kill them on the spot. So what is their purpose?
I feel like this episode needed to be a little bit longer than it was because we did have sort of this first half of the episode where they're telling fart jokes and going along and having, a back and forth banter, getting to know each other, all of that. And then they get to Kansas City and everything happens with Kathleen and her group. It almost feels like, I know they wanted to have this cliffhanger of like, who are these two guys? Like they're very obviously Henry and Sam. We saw the the colorings on the wall of the superhero masks and all that sort of stuff that was going on. It's them, but like it almost just needed a little bit more of what's going on with Kathleen. Why are all these people following her to the point that they have like a huge problem about to happen here in the city where the floor is moving like this and we all know what's under there. And she's like, nah, they're not as important as Henry and Sam. I'm just like, what did these two do that everybody feels that they are more important than what's about to come out of that floor and kill everybody?
Can we get like a 6-episode prequel origin story for Kathleen? Because I have a lot of questions about Kathleen as a leader, including how are you convincing people that this is the right move? It's like, did Henry and Sam wrong all these people on some like extreme level that they're all willing to blindly believe what you were saying here? Because if I am one of the followers of Kathleen, if you will, who has already gone through this like resistance, revolutionary sort of takeover of Kansas City, I might be at this point be like, you know what? I think this is going to be where I back away out of the room here, Kathleen.
Yeah, because I mean, she mentioned her brother who was killed and seemingly by another side where Henry and Sam had something to do with it, but that doesn't affect this entire group of people. So what is it then about her and about her story that has everyone, following her. And I think it is exactly what you said. It's very tough because we just came off of the Bill and Frank episode where we had this
Yeah.
huge deep dive into two characters who are no longer alive. They were here
Yeah.
for one episode, gone one episode. And then we have this huge group of people who I'm sure we're going to get to know better. But I think it's hard to go from an episode where you get such a beautiful deep dive into these two characters to get such a quick sort of snippet where we're kind of confused of what is going on with Kathleen. Why is everybody following her to the point that they're like, oh, all these problems are about to come out of the floor, but they're not important as these two guys. Well, okay, why?
Yeah, you mentioned this episode should have been longer. I was kind of like
Yes.
running it through my head. I think this is the shortest episode we've had so far, and
Yeah, it was pretty short.
it's really weird and ironic too, because the Bill and Frank episode was like an hour and 15 minutes. It was like one of the longest episodes that we've had. You guys devoted basically more of the entire length of this episode to two characters who are dead. And now we have, what is it? Like, we have four new characters that are at least kind of important here, with Kathleen, her second in command. I think his name is Perry. And then you've got Henry and Sam. Like, that's a lot of people. And how much do we know about them?
Nothing, and very, very little. And we only got the last half of the episode for it. Really, it feels like this was an episode to bond Joel and Ellie
Yeah.
a little bit more. I mean, I love that whole camping scene with the two of them where she's kind of like, are you sure we're going to be okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm sure. And then he opens his eyes back up and gets up and stays up all night. Like, you can tell that there's more there than she's just cargo. I
Yeah.
mean, this episode had a lot of laughs in it, especially with the whole driving where he's like, hey, we got like 25 hours. If you want to sleep, you can sleep. Nah, I'm good. That cut to her just sleeping, I was just like, kids and pets, they'll just
Yeah.
sleep anywhere at any time. It's so cute.
It really is. And it's just like the prototypical, just like defiant teenager too, that's like, I'm not doing what you say, and then they end up doing what you say like 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's just how it goes. So we're gonna move into episode 5, where I'm going to make the not so bold prediction that Kathleen is going to eat it in this episode, just because every guest star on the show eats it at some point.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, she's over on Yellow Jackets. For those of you who are not watching it
Yeah.
and you like a really dark show, which I'm assuming you do because you're
Yeah.
watching The Last of Us,
Yeah.
this show is phenomenal and it is very dark. So, yeah, definitely check that out. We're going to have reviews up for that starting next month.
Yeah, and go ahead, hit that subscribe button here so you don't miss anything else we've got on The Last of Us.
Yeah, don't forget, it's on this Friday, episode 5. This Friday, not Sunday.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. We'll see you here next time.